Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coaching Think Top. I am Life Coach Shaun, the man from Pasig City, from Life Coach Philippines, and this is Coaching for Inspired Fidelity. These coaching conversations are for men who are wanting to speak about their thoughts, their feelings, and their emotions. And my mission is to be able to help 1 million men to love, to learn, to laugh, and to live a legacy. Thank you for joining me live today, and please leave your digital footprint by letting us know where you are presently located as of this very time, this very day. Where are you at in the parts of the globe or in the Philippines? Do tag your friends and circulate this video. Let's help more people. Let's reach out to more people or individuals who might be able to get the benefit of what I'll be sharing to you this wonderful morning. You may also give a shout out to people you want to meet and reach out with some inspiring message. Also, if you're watching this on the replay, please do comment in their hashtag replay. I'm streaming by a FB page of Life Coach Philippines and YouTube channel Coach AI-Connect. If you are new to the platform, please do like, follow, and subscribe to the channel. So let's continue to stay connected. There's also a function in Facebook and also in YouTube where you can turn on when there is a live update, where there's a video live, you can be notified. So that is something that you can turn on, and you can be notified when you need to, so that you know that, hey, we're going live, and you can start learning and start joining us in the sessions. If this is the first time you're joining me, if this is the first time you're seeing my face, or maybe you've seen me for the last couple of months already, I am Life Coach Shaun. I'm a professional actively co-create life coach, and I'm also a certified mental health coach. As I've said, I'm from Life Coach Philippines. And as a life coach, I empower men to be mentally fit so that they can stay inspired to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life. I've been married for 19 years. So I started my married life way, 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 way back when I was 19 years old. Very started earlier. I have two kids now. We have my wife and I have two kids. Where they're age 19 and 16 years old. So I've been through that journey in which, during the time in which you were a father, you didn't really know what to expect, what to do. Things were just whatever comes, then you learn along the way. But as you learn, as you gain wisdom, as you gain knowledge, and as you gain experience, you tend to make the necessary adjustments because, I believe that it's no longer for us, right? Especially for adults there, for parents out there. It's no longer for us, it's for our children and the future generations. So we need to be able to teach them by, of course, showing how we want them to behave. Yeah, you need to be a product of what you are, what you want people to be influenced in, as far as your attitude, your beliefs, your values is concerned. And that is something that is worth wonderful journey for me by far. So far, been in the life coaching profession for three years now, going 4 years. And it has really changed the way I live my life. It has changed the way that I wanted to have a lifestyle. It also has changed the way our finances is running. It just gave us a lot of cost savings in our finances, in the way that we want to live by life, the way that how we see what's important, what's not important, what's valuable, and what's not valuable. And the biggest learning is eventually what's valuable is the relationship that we build, the relationship that we keep, and the relationship that we will leave behind in the future. That is something that for me is something that worth fighting for. It's something worth living for today, so that we will live a legacy that would be, remembered by people, but remembered by your children, remembered by the people that you love in your space. And that's something that I would really want to share with you, for those of you joining me. One of the things that is special about me is I am special. I am not normal. Back in August 26, I was assessed and diagnosed by my psychiatrist of having adjustment disorder with depressive mood and anxiety. And the reason why I'm fighting for mental health and mental fitness, I have the emotional dysregulation, which I tend to feel negative emotions in an extreme level, in a maximum, which leads to, problematic behaviors, at times suicidal thoughts, at times intense anxiety. You have all of these things. At times you just want to be gone in this world for that meantime. We just want to end it all. But of course, we cannot end it all because we have a kid now. We have future generations that we need to care of, and we need to continue to stay alive so that we can help our children, live beautifully, live with a meaningful and fulfilling life. That is something that I continue to fight for. And today I'm gonna teach you and I'll talk about the 10 negative thought patterns and the 3 steps to a lasting change. So madali lang to. 10 thought patterns that we'll talk about. And maybe you've encountered this already. Maybe you've read this already. If you've read this already, come and follow me. Share that in the comment section below on your thoughts and insights. And how are you experiencing this negative thought patterns? How are you mindful of these negative thought patterns? And how are you currently um, putting necessary steps for you to be able to respond in ways that are positive, use respond in ways that will make lasting change for you. And before I begin, I would just like to acknowledge the presence of all of the coaches who's watching me right now. Coach Glacy, maraming salamat. Of course, my better half, Coach Tim, is in YouTube. Hello, my better half. Coach Lords, thank you from La Trinidad. Yan, Inget, maraming salamat. And Master Coach Jasmine watching from Quezon City. Yan, marami pong salamat. Coach Glacy, where are you right now? Yan, or where are you in this in part of the globe or in the Philippines right now? So let me ask you a question before we begin. When was the last time that you thought about something that is tragic to happen, or maybe you thought about the worst case scenario? You're thinking about that, or have you ever think about bad things will always happen to you, or maybe there's always going to be a bad thing that's going to happen to you, and do you always think about that you will never succeed in your life? You never succeed in your goals. You never succeed in the things that you're doing. Or maybe that you think about your wife is always responding in ways that triggers your emotion, triggers your anger, triggers your feelings, triggers the things that you want to avoid at all costs. If you felt all of this, then you are not alone. Every one of us feels this negative thoughts, negative thinking, and it is something normal. Negative thinking is very, very common. It's a common thing. It's not just you, it's not just me, it's not that everyone else, it's everyone who's able to think about this. And each and every one of us have moments in which we think of worst scenarios that will happen to us. Or sometimes we jump into conclusion on things that this will happen. You're never going to be successful. If people will not approve of what you're doing and so on. Those kinds of different things that usually we think about, and it's kind of limiting us from becoming the person that we want to be. And even when someone talks to you or talks to us about, and helps us make sense of it all, it seems that we're still stuck in that thinking. We're still stuck that things will be terrible, that things will happen to our children, things will happen, in the work that you do, things will happen in all of this that you're doing, and it's not just allowing you to think of things positively. It puts you in a default state in which you think about things negative. Now, our minds naturally will search for negative. That is natural. So common yan. It's something that happens. You need to think about things negatively, and this way of thinking scans back, dates back towards our past experiences and even the past, right? And during the times of um, prehistoric ages, and it also connected with our upbringing, because as human beings we are wired to survive. Yeah, that is what we do. We are scanning for potential dangers, scanning for potential threats, so that we are able to survive, though that is part of our survival instinct. However, if you take a look at the age and time right now, we are no longer in the age where there's a saber-toothed tiger that we need to care for. We need to be mindful of that will prey on us and eat us. Thus, it's already in a space in which our negative thinking, we're able to manage our negative thinking and help us respond in ways that empowers us to take action. If you are someone who is struggling with stress, if you are someone who's struggling with anxiety, you're someone who's struggling with depression, you understand how difficult it is to flip your thought, that thought of negative thought that you have, into a more positive way. Believe me, I've been there as well. At times, you're thinking, how is this my life? How is these emotions really just affecting me? And you just want to decide just to be gone already. You just want to be gone away, gone in 60 seconds. I'm not sure if you watched that video. And Dr. Aaron T. Beck, a psychiatrist and the father of cognitive behavioral therapy, if you know him, he just recently passed away. He was age 19. I think it was 4 days ago that I read him that he's no longer in this world, but bless him. He recognized that there are specific patterns in our negative thinking. Like every one of us has patterns in negative thinking. I have patterns in negative thinking. And this is the reason why I've invested in life coaching, because I want to understand, where is this feeling coming from? Where is this emotion coming from? Where is this negative thinking coming from? Because it's not allowing me to move forward and progress and to live the life that I have. And as he continued to meet his patients, he allowed them to talk freely about their struggles, about their depression, and eventually identified that there are 10 different negative thinking. He called this negative thinking as cognitive distortions. Maybe you heard about it, or distorted thinking. And cognitive distortion or distorted thinking. And he found out that these distortions or negative conclusions make people feel negative feelings, which hinder them to hinder them to ask for help and become a better person. So they just think about things negatively. They always think about, now things doesn't go well for me. Every time I do this, this happen. Every time I talk to this person, this happens, and so on. So it's continuous negative thought pattern. It's detrimental to you. It's detrimental to your mental health, because eventually what happens is, the way that things are happening, you eventually prove that that belief, that concept of belief that you have, eventually you'll validate that will hold true. Our irrational thoughts and beliefs solidify when we are unintentionally enforcing these beliefs as true over time. So imagine if we continuously, constantly accept that the negative thought will become a reality, even though you haven't had, or it haven't happened yet. Then eventually we will be able to think on that, and we will be able to accept that it holds true. And even if we haven't experienced it, or maybe we just heard it for someone and it's detrimental. The upside of this, however, is when you're able to understand these distortions, you're able to understand these negative thought patterns, we can start turning things around and eventually manage our mental health and be in control of our lives, and also be in control of our anxiety and depression. And as I've said, you know, most recently, because of the stresses and pressures that I've experienced, one of the things that causes me to, live my life with anxiety and sometimes a depressive state, and it can be detrimental to us. And what I want for you to is to just, be in the present moment, have a time with me, you know, get a notebook in there, get some notes in there, put in there something that would allow you to start reflecting on. And I'll share to you 10 cognitive distortions. And for each distortions, I would just for you to notice it and find yourself in ways, or find yourself where you are defaulting. It can be one, it can be two, it can be three. It really depends on you. Take a look at it. You don't need to over complicate it. Simplify it. Let's just simplify it. If you think that you're thinking about that kind of negative or cognitive distortion, then write it down. That, hey, this is something that I'm thinking about. Then that's it. Then move towards to the next. And I will share to you later three steps. Yeah, there's three steps that you can do for you to be able to start making the lasting changes. Three simple steps that you can start doing. And eventually, if you need support, if you need help, just message us here at Life Coach Philippines. We'll be happy to help you, facilitate with you, and guide with you, and co-create with you, so that you can make the change in that cognitive distortion. All right. Coach Darbel, yan, thank you very much for joining me this wonderful morning. Maraming salamat. Watching from Antipolo City. Yan, salamat. All right. So 10 cognitive distortions that I will share to you. Number one is all or nothing thinking. And that's a number one. When a person sees all or nothing in their thinking, it means they see things in black and white. So one and zero lang siya. Sabi nga ni Coach Orville, one and zero. That is black and white. There's no shades of gray in there. It's just either black or white, one and zero. If things aren't perfect for you, you see them as failure. Even if at times a small little thing that you have, maybe you've caused yourself to go on diet, for the first few days, you've eaten according to plan. You have a plan meal. You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Then anything in between, you're able to plan out. You're able to put into a calorie count in there, and eventually you've seen a silver pie. Oh, like in Decaf Cup Republic, there is an apple pie in there, pineapple pie in there with mango pie, which is awesome, by the way. It just relives some of the memories that I have when I was a child, when I was eating with this, well-known fast food place here in the Philippines. Probably you know them. Ano, parang B siya. Yeah, the what you call it? It's a B. Yeah. So apple pie, and eventually, that was not part of your meal, and you eat it and you berate yourself. You're starting to make talk negatively about yourself. You're putting yourself in a state where it's stressful because you're not able to follow your meal plan, and you say, hey, I've blown it. I might as well just eat all of the pie, or the six pies that you have in there, and you're such a failure. So that is all or nothing. You don't see that at the end of the day you're still progressing. You're able to move forward with that. And if you know someone who's that, then that is an all or nothing scenario. The second is overgeneralization. When a person thinks about things over, we're generalizing it. What happens is the person believes that there things that happens to them always happens to them. So it's always a thing every day. And what you want to happen at times, when it doesn't happen, it never happens to you. You don't believe that it will never happen to you. It will never make the changes that you have. And these thoughts are upsetting, and it sets up in a cycle of defeat. So every time, think about, oh, I won't be able to get that promotion. I won't be able to get that goal that I want. I won't be able to get do the things that I want to do. That is what a overgeneralization is. So for example, maybe you ask someone for a date. Maybe someone asked you for a date, and the person said no. And what your automatic response is I'll never find someone to go out with me. So I'll never. They're using the words never. That's the reason why in life coaching we teach people and we allow people to take a look at the words and be mindful of the words that they're being used, because never means it will never happen. But the reality is you can always make the change if you want to today, so that your future will change. It can happen. You can make the change. Just have to believe. And there's help available here at Life Coach Philippines. Just message us. All right. Number three is mental filter. All of these things, of all of the things going well, you pick, or a person picks negative details. Everything is doing well, and the person sees just one little tiny, 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 tiny thing negative about the situation. And they focus their attention towards that negative thing. For example, maybe you conducted a class, or you've done a presentation, and you have 20 people in there, and eventually 19 of the people in there shared to you positive feedback. They said, wow, you did well, we learned a lot. Then you have one who gave a negative feedback about the thing, your presentation. And what happens is that person focused towards the negative statement instead of the positive one, ignoring all of the positive ones. So that is a mental filter that we have, that we just focus on the negative rather than focusing on the big picture, which is, come on, 19 over 1. That's a big positive feedback already, right? But the person would focus on that one negative thought. All right. Number four is discounting the positive. You often feel inadequate or unappreciated because you ignore positive experience. And for example, if you are in a speaking engagement, maybe you are in a class, you're facilitating a class, people applauded you, but you felt that you could do, or you could have done better. Have you ever experienced that? I've experienced that. At times you prepare for your public speaking or for a training class, and eventually afterwards you felt that I wish I could have done this, I wish I could have done that, I would have wish I could have said this, and so on. Then we focus on the negative. We just focus on what didn't work rather than this focusing on the positive things, and that is discounting the positive. Number five is jumping into conclusion. How often have you jumped into conclusion based on your feeling? that thought that you have without the evidence to support it. So that is jumping into conclusion. There's no proof. You haven't experienced it. Maybe you heard it from someone or read it somewhere. There are two types of uh, jumping into conclusion. The first one is mind reading, and the second is fortune telling. Yeah, well, which one did you do? Mind reading is when you seem to know exactly what someone is thinking. Maybe you've experienced that maybe this person is thinking this and that and so on and so forth. Oh, and it's often interpreted that an action or response and conclude that you're not like or you're someone or someone is angry with you. So your mind reading the person is angry at you. Your mind reading that the person is angry at you and so on, even though that person is thinking about something else and angry about something else. So that is mind reading. And fortune telling is you already know what's going to happen. You're going to know you're already expecting that you're gonna struggle, even if things have not started yet. So that is what jumping is to conclusion is. Either we're mind reading or we're fortune telling. Number six is magnification or minimization. Yeah, magnification or minimization. That is the six negative thought patterns or the six of the 10 cognitive distortions. And when you are magnifying things or minimizing things, you're specially, it's like having a magnifying glass. I don't have a magnifying glass in here. A magnifying glass makes the issue far bigger than it is, uh, when you're also the flip side is you're also able to minimize the situation during positive qualities. It means that things are doing well, but eventually you're feeling that things are negative. For example, when you agreed to pick up your milk on your way home at work with a lot of things on your mind, you forgot to pick up the milk, and in your mind you become most forgetful. You think about you're unreliable, you're disorganized person, and so all these negative things that you're thinking about, and eventually you're not able to see the positive in it. So that is magnification and minimization. Yan, nabulol na ako. All right. Number seven is emotional reasoning. And when you say about emotional reasoning, this is a cognitive distortion that allows you to believe that whatever you're feeling, it must be true. Yeah, emotional reasoning. It means if you are someone who's anxious about driving, so you've concluded that driving is not safe. Yeah, so that is emotional reasoning. And number eight, the should statement. If you know someone who's saying, I should do this, I should do that, it means that that person have a clear idea about how things should be or how things shouldn't be. Yeah, that's what they're thinking already. It should, I should be able to get some the love from my family. I should be able to receive this from my parents and so on and so forth. And when they don't turn out, when the things that they think about don't turn out, they blame themselves, or others because of that experience. So for example, I should have done in my ways instead of listening to that person. Maybe that person has asked you to do something, but instead of making a decision for yourself, you follow that person, but you blame that person because there was faulty in the way that they recommended things, and that is something that is a should statement. So that is number eight. Number nine is labeling. This distortion is like all or nothing thinking. So that the first one that I've shared, you see there in what Coach Nordin and Kales have shared, all or nothing. You label yourself as always in a negative way. You've done something, and the others don't like you. So that is what labeling is. You don't realize that your behavior is not you. You are not your behavior. You can change your behavior if you want to. Similarly, when someone else's or does something to you that they don't like, or makes a mistake, someone makes a mistake, you label them. Yeah, so it's a reverse. Either they label you or you label them. And this is where there's a challenge on how we're thinking about things and how we're managing things and how we're seeing other people. An example here is when you give someone directions and turn out to be wrong, instead of recognizing that you've made a mistake, you label yourself as you are an idiot. I'm an idiot, or you're labeling others that she's a liar, the person is a liar because they told you things that is not true. So it leads to disappointment. So that is one. Number 10, lastly, is personalization or blame. Please, personalization or blame. You hold yourself responsible for events or things you don't have 100% control over. It means that you accept everything that it's your fault because of you. That's the reason why things are not well with your relationship because your husband maybe left you and so on, or your wife is doing different things that you don't like. And these are the things that's personalization and blame. And this distortion involves blame game the other person is blaming others for someone or something, and you the person don't think about the situation in a different perspective. Maybe for example, you've seen your child having trouble at school. Instead of being curious about what happened and why, you blame yourself as a terrible parent. So that is one. Or maybe you blame others for your child challenges at school. You blame the teacher, you blame the students, you blame the guidance counselor, you blame the principal, you blame Duterte for what happened to your child. So these are the things that happens when a person is personalizing or blaming others, and that's where uh, people are not enjoying the life that they have because of this thinking. So those are the 10 cognitive distortions. The first one is all or nothing thinking. Second is overgeneralization. The third is a mental filter. Fourth is discounting the positive. Five is jumping to conclusion. Six is magnification and minimization. Number seven is emotional reasoning. Eight is should statement. Nine is labeling. And 10 is personalization and blame. So those are the 10. If you want to go back to this video, just go back here and watch this video and get that insight. Just take a look at and reflect on which one do you feel you're currently using as far as the this negative thoughts is concerned, because raising awareness really allows you to be mindful of this negative thought patterns. All right. And what I'm going to share to you is the 3 steps for you to a lasting change, where you can change the way that you think. Because at the end of the day, all of these experiences that we have, again, comes from our past, and also it triggers us in thinking all of these things. And when we're able to be mindful of this, we're able to have be in that space in which we're acknowledging it. It makes a journey worthwhile, and you can start making the necessary change that we have. The mental model that I would want for you to think about or practice here, if you've been listening to all of the speakers here, is we are a mental model collector. A mental model are the things that we see and how we see and perceive things. And I would want for you to practice the 10,000 experiment rules in this mental model. And also, practice the inversion model. Yeah, if that is something that you're interested in, if you want to know more about how you can utilize mental model, just message us here at Life Coach Philippines and join us in the Be Learning Society. And I'll share later how you can take advantage of that. Hello, Coach Pichi. Maraming salamat, Coach Marife. Thank you for joining us this wonderful morning. All right. So 3 steps to a lasting change is, of course, to change the way that you think. So I'll give you 3 steps. Very, very simple. You can start implementing this after this. Three step. The first step is to identify your distortions. Out of the 10 that I've shared, be aware of one. Think of one that sits with you, or maybe you when you were processing your thoughts, you say, okay, all of or nothing is something that has stick with me, something that I've done. Then identify your distortions. If there are more uncertain situations, better that you can put as an example in there. Far better, that would work. So that is the first step. Step number 2 is acknowledge these distortions. Take a vacation from perfection. Acknowledge that, hey, one of the distortions that I have is personalization or blaming others because of what happened to you. You blame your, other people. You blame your family member. You blame your wife, your husband, because of the things that's happening to you. That is what is a personalization and a blame. You can be you can start thinking about this so that at least you acknowledge that it's true for you. Then again, take a vacation from perfection. So that is the second step. The third step is, once you're able to be aware of it, you're able to acknowledge it, the next step is for you to take action. Seek support. Put things in perspective. Allow yourself to take a look at things and allow yourself to explore that, hey, this can be true for me today, but it doesn't mean that it will be true to me tomorrow, because you can make the necessary change on the way that you think. So those are the 3 steps that you can follow. identify your distortions, acknowledge these distortions, and take action to change this distortion. Seek support. At times, people would think that, hey, I'll do it, and so on and so forth. But as I've said, I always remind myself that I cannot change or I cannot fix the problem that I myself have created in the first place, because everything of this thinking is because of our way of thinking. We decided to think in such a way, but that doesn't mean that we're bad people. But because of trauma, we have experiences different kinds of trauma that's triggering this emotion, triggering these thoughts, triggering these ideas. Then that is where the challenge coming from. But if we are able to be aware of this, acknowledge this, and take action and making the change, it's far better experience, in the way that we can do things. Last August, I started a 1 year coaching program with Master Coach A, and it's a 1 year long-term relationship. And one of the things that I've realized during that coaching session is I've realized that all of my values are not true for me. It was true because it's something that has helped me survive in the way that I need to stand up as a father, as a husband, as a provider, as a boss. But I realized that this has been pressuring me to do things that in the back of my mind is something that I didn't want to do. And as I progress in the coaching relationship with the program, I realized that my values needs to be realigned, needs to be refreshed, needs to be calibrated in who I am. And I'm proud because there's one value that's really stick, and that's the value of humor. I realized that I am a humorous guy and I just want to have fun. I just want to enjoy life. Just want to be joyful. I don't want to experience all of these negative stresses, negative pressures, negative expectations that is pressuring our mind and our heart to do things that we don't want to do. And it's a powerful feeling because as I continue to progress, I realize that the values that I've not use or I not focus my attention on are the ones that are limiting me from living the life. And maybe you're in the space right now in which the things that you're doing, the values that you follow, is not aligning to what your heart is desiring and what your mind is telling you. If this is something that you are in the season of your life and you feel that things are not working out, I invite you to message us here at Life Coach Philippines. Help is available, support is available. Maybe you've explored all of the options already. Maybe you've talked to different people in there, mentors, psychiatrists, psychologists, but you haven't tried life coaching. You know, try it out. What's the worst thing that could happen anyway, right? We've gone through our life in which things are uncertain already, and the decisions that we will make today will impact the future generations. Make a stand, make a change, because it can happen. Change can happen, and if that is something that you're ready with, I would like to invite you to join me or avail of this my silver lining coaching program. By digging deep and understanding what really is important to you, this program will help you finally identify what are your goals are, what keeps you inspired, what keeps you motivated. Because when you're clear about the goals that you have, eventually that will align to the values that you keep. And it will also help you plan out with intention how you can take actions, how you can identify these obstacles that you have in your life that's sabotaging your success, and create action plans on how you can handle it, how you can do it in an efficient and effective way. Plus, you will get also a list of goals or to-do list or bucket list that it's really you. It's something that sparks joy, sparks, hope in becoming a better person than before. And if this is something that is a season of your life and you want to be able to explore, you want to have a deeper understanding of how this program will help you, just contact me at 0917 586 569 4200, 0917 569 4200, and book a strategy session with me. It's a complimentary session. You don't have to pay for it. Let's have a conversation. Let me help you manage your anxiety and depression in there so that you can really get out there, stand up, and live the life that you have because you deserve it. You deserve that life. No one needs, don't allow other people to take that away from you because that is something that has been given to you that you can enjoy. Remember that action makes progress. We need to take action. And as simple as taking action is scheduling a coaching session or a session with a life coach. If you want to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life, the first step is to just call. Help is available. We'll help you with the next step. Just the first step is reaching out. All right. As I end this conversation, let me invite you to be part of what we are doing as an organization of professional certified life coaches. If you are yet to be a smart holder of the Be Learning e-card and you're still missing on the perks that I am enjoying, we are enjoying, today is the best time for you to take action. Please connect with Coach Giselle through 0917-586-1661 to join the Be Learning Society. It's a tent maker of the Be Learning homes for mental fitness, and you will enjoy five perks. Three perks in here. You will get a 5% food and beverage discount from Decaf Coffee Republic. You'll also get a full access on the mental model masterclass by Master Coach A, which I told you a while ago. I shared to you the 10,000 experiment and also the inversion. That is a mental model. It's happening every fifth Saturday of the month. It's going to be happening on the 27th. And 27th Saturday. And you also get a 90-minute free coaching session with senior coaching team from Life Coach Philippines. So please save the date. It's going to be on November 27th. Jeff Bezos Mental Model Mastery. I'm looking forward to this. If you know Jeff Bezos, he is the one who created, a founder and the creator of Amazon, which is $1 billion company. He's the second richest person in the world. So join us in here. I'm a member. My Be Learning e-card is 011. Yeah, and you see their Coach Clint at 001. For more information on registration assistance, connect with Coach yourself through 0917-586-1661 to discover how you can utilize the mental model and how you can also help the Be Learning Society. And the how Master Coach A is creating a movement that helps people with mental fitness. So this is something that you have your heart and you're deciding. Connect with us, and we'll be happy to share with you how you can further benefit with the Be Learning e-card. Of course, for those people who are embarking or wants to embark on the journey of becoming a certified life coach like me, if you want to change your life, if you're looking for a beautification project which is a normal, it's natural way, I would like to invite you to join us in the co-actively co-create life coach certification program. This is Master Coach A who created this. This is a CPD accredited course with 40 credit units, and CPD is all about learning new things and refreshing your knowledge by doing things that makes CACC Life Coach Certification Program the perfect track for those people who are in need of continuing professional development. And life coaching is the 21st century learning experience that is empowering professionals to enhance their skills in multiple domains and thereby increasing their relevance in this increasing complex workplace. I tell you, with the ever-changing and uncertainty of this world, in the workplace, we need to stay relevant, and that means that we need to continuously invest in our learning so that we grow. What you will get when you invest in this program, you get a 21-day web-based learning, a 3-day live coaching bootcamp with Master Coach A, and a 3-day live business bootcamp with senior coaching team. You also get bonuses in there. Connect with Coach yourself through 0917-586-1661 to discover the opportunities waiting for you for this profession. All right, so do join us again for another coaching conversation with Coach Nords at 2 p.m. for Coaching for Intentional Living, and Coach C for Coaching for Unbarrenness at 4 p.m. Yeah, Nordelin Dallas Cales, that is the person that will be live at 2 p.m. later. So please do join her. Coaching Think Talk happens every single day at 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 4 p.m. daily. That's Philippine time. If you're looking for content, just utilize the search function in Facebook and in YouTube. I tell you, you're going to get a lot of benefit in there. Once again, maraming salamat. This is Coach Shaun from from Life Coach Philippines for Coaching Think Talk. Coaches like us think and talk like this. This is us in the Philippines. Welcome to our space. This is a safe space. Come join us. Let's have a moment. Let's have a time. And let's have a conversation. Maraming salamat. Love, bam, boom. Love, bam, boom. Love, bam, boom. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.